Hey guys, so I'm really inspired to take this one to YouTube today due to some things that happened in the group yesterday. I did do a 15-minute video in the group, but I was like, I'm going to take this to YouTube. And I'm going to expand on it, and I'm going to talk a lot longer than 15 minutes probably because it's such a big topic and it really needs to get out there. Now, if you watch my foreign installation video, which is the featured video, I talk a lot about programming, okay, and just how pervasive it is with the collective. That we've got this foreign installation, that's upheld by the collective, and are your thoughts your own? We really got two minds here. We've got our original mind, but then we've got this mind that is easily manipulated and so forth. So watch a video on that. But this that I'm going to talk about is a little part of that, because don't think that the spiritual awakened community is necessarily free of the foreign installation. And there's a lot of things, that get kind of twisted and mixed up, and people will parrot certain things to everyone, as answers to for solutions, and they're actually causing more harm than good. So one of the things is, somebody came in the group, they wanted a reading on a relationship. They were looking for a future relationship. A lot of us, tarot readers or intuitive readers, we do a lot of these. Relationship reads are probably the most common one, either a current relationship or maybe somebody does want to know about one that is coming and stuff. And when I approach a relationship read for the future, I will talk a lot about the past, the present. I will talk about certain things we can do to kind of manifest, like I see this coming, but we just gotta, this is how we're gonna steer our ship, okay, to aim in that direction, to make that kind of happen, because you can do that. You have personal power to do that. So that's kind of how I usually approach it. But so this person comes in and asks for a relationship read, and instead of really getting a relationship read, which is what they ask, which one of the things that is so important as a reader is to really listen to what is the question. What are they asking you for? Okay, to what answers are they asking you for? Okay, and everybody was saying, well, before you can have, love in your life, you have to love yourself. For one, they're making a assumption for some reason the person doesn't love themselves, but this does seem to be a program that has really taken over the spiritually awakened community. Not that everybody's necessarily awake, and I know everybody goes in stages, but it's become something, and it's becoming a little dark, in the sense that people are assuming just because somebody wants to be in a relationship that they must not love themselves. Okay, once they speak the word, relationship, I would like, and sometimes people, women, like for instance, I just saw one that somebody posted, somebody probably about my age, will I find love, or am I meant to be alone for the rest of my life? These are real questions that women my age can ask, and they can worry about, because, we all kind of have a dream. It'd be nice to grow old with somebody. Nobody wants to be alone. Do you want to be alone? No, nobody really wants to be alone. Okay. And they're human. They're human. It doesn't mean they don't love themselves, but it's just not necessarily ideal for the majority of people. If we've got to take people as they are. They're human beings, right? They're human beings. And human beings, don't want to be alone. Now, there's one thing about why I don't necessarily want to be alone. I'd like to be with someone. And then there's having an overwhelming fear that we will jump into any old relationship, no matter how abusive. Okay, there's a difference there, guys. But just because somebody wants a relationship does not mean they do not love themselves. But there is still, at the same time, we are also telling people, which I find very harmful, that unless you have all your self-love, unless you are fully healed, you're not going to find someone to love you. That is basically the message that a lot of people, be it readers, motivational speakers, spiritual teachers, are telling people in the spiritual community. And that's terrible. It makes me feel that some of the original conditioning, let's put it that way, that we are trying to get away from, which has a lot to do with, say, Christianity. We're born in original sin. You come here as a baby, you're born with original sin. And you kind of grow up, and then once you're at the age of accountability, well, you better get baptized and everything and get right with God. You got to cleanse that sin. You got to do the sinner prayer and everything, and then devote yourself to God, and then stop sinning. At any time you do something, that's considered a sin, then you feel awful and so forth, and then you got to go repent and all the other things, but one of the things that sadly the religion can really teach, oh, God is love, but okay, right, we kind of know that God is love and God loves everyone, but okay, if you do this, very long list, you go to a bad place. Okay, so people are already kind of taught not to love themselves, that they're sinful, that even God can't look upon them because they're so full of sin. And you've got to constantly be trying to get right with God, or else you're going to be cast to a bad place. That's a brutal parent there, okay? I mean, they don't, it all breaks down to does this being love me or not, right? So there's still little bit, just bits of that conditioning. Has crept into the spiritually awakened community when it comes to self-love. Now it's the opposite. Oh no, you got to love yourself, but you're not going to have love until you do. Okay, this is just as bad as Christianity as well. There are people that had childhood trauma, people that were abusers, people who were molested, people that were beat on, people that were neglected, all kinds of things. They grow, they end up in relationships, maybe they're traumatic because they're not healed, and various things. And of course that's going to happen if there's trauma. There's going to be people that can get into all kind of messes and everything like that. But you try to sell them that they have to be, okay, you're not going to have the right kind of love. You're not going to find someone that loves you for who you are if you don't love yourself, okay? And if you don't heal yourself, is such an abusive thing to say to someone. Just have someone look you dead in the eye. Can you imagine? I'm sorry, I can't love you because you don't love yourself. If you don't love yourself, how can you expect me to love you? That would be a very hurtful thing if somebody looked you dead in the eye and said that, right? Okay, that would be very hurtful. Now, this doesn't mean don't work on self-love. I am not saying that whatsoever. No, no, no. We want to do that. We definitely want to accept ourselves, flaws and all. Okay, that is especially what we want to do. My goal is, I'm hoping you all will know there is a spirit and see yourself the way the spirit really sees you. Beyond all these fairy tales, that spirit is just can't look upon you. You're too sinful. Okay, see as the spirit sees you. Just as a parent, hopefully a good parent, let's say, would see a child and just love them unconditionally. Okay? And everything like that. And then even that brutally broken person, how they love other people. Maybe they're still brutally broken, but they still find a way to get up every day and show love to the kids that they brought into the world, or even family that maybe rejects them, but they still love them anyway, offering their love to friends and helping them out when they need it. That it's still in them. Okay, they just got to kind of turn it on themselves. They've got to be able to love themselves too. But it doesn't mean they can't, that spirit. See, I don't want you to sit there and think, and I know the law of attraction is real, but I don't want you to think that the universe is holding all the good soulmates back until you're 100% healed, until you got that self-love. Okay, well, we're just going to hold all the good ones back, and we'll just let you keep meeting all the ones that treat you bad. And then when you finally love yourself, then I'll send you a good. It doesn't work that way, guys. A good one can still come on the path of someone who's broken. A good one can still come on the path if you're doing the work, but you're not quite there. And good ones can still come on the path if you got some scars. It's just like friends, you know. Have you not met friends? If you're on this spiritual path, you know, even with my group, a lot of people have made tons of friends from over there. Okay, you know, that could help them along the way, and they love each other. I know they love each other and everything like that. They love people they don't even know. Okay, because that's something that magically happens too. Okay, so in we do prayer circles and all kinds of things for each other. So absolutely, absolutely, spirit's not holding all the good ones back until, nope, you're going to do the work first. Nope, you got to, you better start reading all the books. You better start practicing the positive affirmations. You better start smiling in the mirror. You better figure it out. Okay, you better write love letters to yourself. Matter of fact, let me pull you up some. I'm not down on self-love, but I'm gonna read you a poem. This poem means a lot to me. Love After Love, Derek Walcott. Let me read you this poem. It's one of my favorites. The time will love when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each with a smile at the other's welcome, and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own mirror image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. That's Love After Love by Derek Walcott. That poem is very special to me, and it's all about self-love. Okay, peel back your image from the mirror. Okay, come face to face with the mirror. Who has loved you all your life? But it's there, it's in there. There is something in you, your divine self, that's always been there, or you could even see it as the higher self, if you want to do it that way too. However you want to interpret it, but it's about you coming face to face, especially to be with your divine self, that one that's always loved you all your life. So self-love, I am totally for it. But the interesting thing about that poem is one day I went to the or Barnes and Noble, and I bought the book The Time Traveler's Wife, and I also bought a book by John Kabat-Zinn. And what shocked me is I found that poem in both those books. So out of all the books at Barnes and Noble, okay, out of all the books that I could have bought, I've only bought like 3 or 4, and 2 of them have the same exact poem. That poem was in it. And I definitely took it as a message for me. That is what the path is about. Is the true self, when getting there. So don't think I'm down on self-love. But one of the things also on my path, I worked with a teacher for a long time. I had my spirit tribe, and we all loved each other. And those people came into my life at a time when I am pretty broken, have a lot of work to do, but I'm real eager to learn. I'm awakening, but I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess, okay? But I'm eager to learn, and I'm determined to do the work. And that was one of, the reasons I feel spirit like, here comes your teacher, and here comes your tribe. Because I was willing to do the work, whatever it took to get to where I needed to be. And so I've been growing in abilities and things happening. I want to learn about abilities. I want to work on this. Here you go. I was ready to do the work. So what is important? Of course, self-love is important. If we didn't get it from our parents, or we didn't get it from our relationships or our friends or our teachers or whoever, we got to do something, right? Of course, absolutely. How, even with all this rejection in the world, and we get to a certain point where we recognize that they're just projecting onto me. It's never been about me. It's never really been about me. It's always been about them. That's one of the things we kind of learn. It's always been about them. So, but we have got to stop punishing people by saying that love is not going to come until they're fully healed. Because even on my path, with finding my tribe and various things, and there were people that I dated and things, it works out, doesn't work out, things happen. But they also served a purpose through different phases and stages in my life. People still served a purpose in my path, that I kind of learned and grew into and so forth. You still can gain lessons along the way. I was thinking of the movie, a real good example. If anybody's seen the movie Diary of a Mad Black Woman, that's Tyler Perry's first movie he ever did. One of the things she's cheated on, the rich husband throws her out of the house, moves in another woman, throws her on the street. She goes to Medea's and everything, and she's just completely brutally broken, and she's devastated and depressed and suffering, and she has to get a job. And then she meets a guy, and what's the thing about the guy? Oh, he's showing her love and trying to show her that it's okay and it's safe, and it's safe, to be with him. And he loves her even though she's broken. Okay, so don't think that there's not someone out there, that they'll see your flaws and they'll see you're that broken pottery you're trying to put back together and not love you for you. Okay, we've just got to be ready for the fact, that, as we're kind of out there and we cross paths with various people, we also are going to cross paths with a lot of broken people. And we just, we got to protect ourselves. We got to protect ourselves so we don't end up in certain situations and things like that. We don't want to end up, I really want to be in a relationship. I have a hard time being alone. Of course, we want to teach people not to do that because we don't want them ending up in abusive situations. So, of course, that's one of the things a reading can help even dodge a bullet in a situation. If somebody is really like, I don't want to be alone, and well, he's got flaws, but I'll accept it, and he crosses my boundaries, but I'll take it. Of course, we want to work on that, and everything. We want to work on that. Self-love can give you freedom. That's one of the things. You just feel like a free spirit and everything. Especially can give you strength, that to be stronger. That is one of the things that's very powerful. It helps you lighten the load, carrying those heavy burdens you've been carrying around, of, thoughts of, hating yourself, even to the point, not taking care of yourself, not respecting yourself, abusing yourself in various ways, maybe drugs, alcohol, punishing yourself in various ways and stuff. It can also give you closure to the past. It can give you closure to that childhood trauma or those relationships and things like that, But one thing I will say is this, that I have learned on the path, and I will say this, is that you don't have to be 100% fully healed, say, for the right relationship to come along. But if you're in the wrong relationship, okay, then it's going to be harder to be sent. There is truth in that. But there is something magical that happens when you close the door. I will say that. That is a real thing. That's real. When you finally say goodbye to the wrong one, to the one that does not show you love and show you respect and is loyal and trustworthy, all the things that we need for a healthy relationship. When you shut that door, that sends a signal into the universe like a skylight. She shut the door, okay? Or a guy. I don't want to just only talk to women, okay? He shut the door, okay? It sends something out there. Now we're ready for the next phase. And of course, there's always going to be, as Spirit wants you to heal and also wants you to find that self-love, friends will pop up in the way. It could be you were looking on Facebook and, oh, there's a new spiritual group. I'll check that out. And that may lead into a really beautiful direction. There's all kinds of ways. Or maybe you're kind of going through Google and, is there like a spiritualist church in my area? Maybe somebody teaches Reiki or something and I can get attuned, and then you find it, things will pop up, that will lead you in the right direction. That's the beautiful thing, that the magic is always around us, ready to offer, 1111, 333, all the signs and everything to try to lead you in the right direction, to lead you to that healing place. Because Spirit wants you to have that moment, just like that poem, in front of the mirror, and stuff. The time will come with elation. You will greet yourself at your own door, and everything, arriving at your own door. I knew I was missing a word. I know that poem almost by heart. I almost know it by heart. So yeah, so of course it's very important, but we've got to stop. We have to stop so bad telling people you got to be 100% healed. You got to be perfect. You got to be this. You got to be that. What do you think? Spirit's just going to leave you alone forever until you're like, what do you expect people to do? Well, I guess I got to sit here and figure out how to love myself, and how do I do it? Okay, let me go look in the mirror. I love you. What do you expect these people to do? They don't know what that means. I also, and this is what I strongly believe, is people who are saying this to other people don't practice what they preach. Okay? I will bet you anything. I'll bet you my Ganesh tapestry that's sitting in front of me. And so, sorry, Ganesh, I won't give you away. But I will bet you that all those people who always say this all the time to all these people, be it online, social media, or wherever, that, before you can have love, you have to love yourself, do not practice what they preach. Okay? To the point that I'm sure they're not completely, totally healed before they take on a relationship, and things like that too. Okay? Because, we all got a Chiron wound. We're probably never going to be 100% healed. What does that look like? What does 100% healed look like? Okay? Come on. What's up? I make peace with my past. Here's my childhood trauma. But I can kind of look back. I'm at peace. It's not happening anymore. I'm okay with that. I forgive my parents. I make peace with that. But there's always gonna be once in a while a memory hits and it kind of triggers a little bit. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're always gonna have a little Chiron wound. We're just, if somebody was really abused, very, very hardcore by someone, it's real hard. And maybe they'll never quite get past that. It doesn't mean it's going to stun them on the spiritual path. It doesn't mean Spirit's not going to let them grow. And it doesn't mean Spirit's going to send them back to earth over and over and over again until they forgive somebody. Okay? Spirit's not going to do that to you. It's crazy. But we got to stop telling people that. And there is nothing wrong with wanting to be loved. This is probably one of the biggest things I want to say. And everybody be like, oh my God, what is wrong with a human being wanting love nowadays? Why is it a sign of weakness that we make people feel there must be something wrong with them to want love in their life? Where did we lose our way? We talk about in the spiritual community how love is the most powerful thing in the universe. We talk about how the love and the light and all the great things it can do. Okay? This is what we do. We talk, love is the most powerful thing. It's the greatest healer. It's amazing. Unconditional love is such a superpower. It will tear down walls and it will destroy evil even. Love is amazing. It's what's going to save us. And then when somebody wants love in their life, we punish them for it. Well, you got to work on yourself, and you're broken. There's something wrong with you for wanting love. How sick is that? And that's what makes me mad. Okay, that's what makes me mad. How dare you fault someone for wanting this great thing called love in their life? How do you do that they would like to have love given from another person? How dare you fault them? How dare you treat them as if there must be something wrong with them, something broken to want love in their life? Where did we lose our way in the spiritual community selling this. Okay, this is insane. This is human nature. And this is also part of our light nature. If we're all about that divine spark and that is our nature, when we get to our core, is that unconditional love and compassion we have for other beings and things like that and stuff. And we give it so freely. And then we have somebody who's like, I would like to have love. I would love to have somebody grow old with. I would love to be able to get married and have children. And we fault them for it. Well, you must be trying to fill the void. Okay. Come on, guys. God, this is insanity. This is insanity that we're doing this. This is not the act of healers. This is also not the act of readers. This is not the act of awakened people. Okay, this is not how we're going. You're not going to awaken humanity by saying things like this. You're going to push them away. You're going to push them away to the point where they just can't find their path. And they don't know what to do and they feel completely lost. Okay? We're here to have a human experience, and one of those things is love, relationships. People would like to have children and things like that. They would like to grow old with somebody. There's nothing wrong with wanting that. There's nothing wrong with wanting that. And there's nothing wrong with somebody saying, I really don't want to be alone. Except the fear of being alone is one thing. I am so afraid of being alone that I will take that guy who treats me bad. No, we don't want to do that. But, we do want to conquer the fear of being alone so we don't make mistakes. Absolutely. I'm with you on that and stuff. But as far as conquering, the desire for love and stuff, it's like, but this is the most powerful thing in the universe. It's the most beautiful thing. Love conquers all and everything. Love, at all things. And, even the whole universe was put together because of love. And we're all here because of love. And Jesus, we say all this crap, but then fault people because they want that love. What, it's just, it's just more Orthodox Christianity with a different label. And we're just wording it differently. And we need to stop doing that. We need to stop doing that. We've got to stop punishing people for some human nature. And we also got to stop punishing people for wanting something that we even ourselves would like in our life too. Because I don't think there's one person on this planet, even some of the worst of the worst people, everybody wants love in some capacity. Everybody would like that in their life. Maybe they do away with people and they just get a dog. Okay, maybe they're like, I don't want a relationship, but my dog loves me and I'm happy with that. That's totally fine. Have a loyal best friend, totally fine, whatever. Or a cat. I don't think cats love us, but that's okay. Okay, cats, I don't think they love us. I think they're just, they think we're the pets. That's the way it is. That's probably true. They're the type that, they will probably eat you out if you died in your sleep or something. They'll probably feast on you. I've heard of things like that with cats. They don't care about us. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so I want you guys to do that. Just really, I don't care if they're a real popular motivational speaker and they're standing up there and they've got their little earphone microphone thing going on and they're telling their story. You know what? I couldn't find any kind of love because I didn't love myself. And then one day I realized I deserve to love and I'm going to love myself, but I've got to do that first. And then as soon as I did that, the next day, I met my husband. I don't care if they're saying that, okay? Everybody's story is different. Let's say that too. Everybody's story is different. There's no right or wrong with that. We are all meant to have a different story about how things go. We're all meant to have a different story. Some people do get the fairy tale. Some people marry and it's a fairy tale and they stay together forever and ever. It happens. Some people live a beautiful life because they both work together. They really work hard, okay? they can do that. Some people, maybe they had the first marriage, married for the wrong reasons, but the second marriage, oh no, they both knew what they wanted, and they stuck it out, and they're still together. There's all kinds of stories. Everybody's got a story, and it's okay. So we can't give necessarily the same answer to each and every individual when their story is different. Okay, not the same exact thing. And just like, we can't give everybody the same strategy necessarily, in working on themselves. That's the beauty of the spiritual awakening path. There's all kinds of different things that we can borrow from and learn from and take from and adapt to. There's so much. There's a plethora of anything, and you can, and you got to kind of wade through it. And to me, it's kind of fun. Sometimes it's kind of like walking in a bookstore, and let's see what interests me. I think I would like to read. It's a little bit like that. What appeals to me in my spirit? What do I really want to learn about? What really resonates with my soul? That's one of the things is when you get on the spiritual awakening, is really starting to look at, some people astrology really resonates. Tarot cards really resonated with me. Astrology did as well. Certain things like that. Crystals, some people really, really drawn to crystals. Some people are obsessed with them. Whatever you resonate with is totally fine. Whatever authors you resonate with and stuff. Maybe you don't like necessarily the standard authors. Maybe you like different and everything. Whatever works for you. Whatever, if there's a certain deity you want to talk to with a certain name, talk to that deity, however you want to do it. But stop doing that, guys. It's okay. And if you feel like, I would like to have love in my life and things like that, don't fault yourself either. Don't feel like you're doing something wrong by wanting that in your life. You're not doing something wrong and stuff like that. I've done a lot of work on the path. I do feel like I love myself to the point where I'm not saying I'm in love with myself. Let's put it that way, because that would sound funny. I'm in love with myself. But I feel like I've got a good relationship with myself. Let's put it that way. I mean, I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm finally comfortable in my sin. And I finally accept myself after many years of not doing that. It takes time. But, and it could take years and years, to be able to achieve that, and just kind of to have that peace and everything, to have that inner peace and tranquility, and not be at war. Because that's one of the things that's the hard part on the path, is we feel like there is a battle within us. And there really is. There really is, and it lasts for years. There's a battle within us, and we got to win. We got to win the battle and everything like that. And then I forgot I was going to say it. I was going to say something, and I just completely lost it. But I just really want you to do that when you see that, and say somebody is asking for advice or any kind of situation. Maybe if you are in my group and you see someone ask for a reading or whatever, or somebody wants some relationship advice and things, really think carefully what you say. Really think carefully what you say, but also think about yourself. Can you take your own advice? Okay. Can you also take I think that's what I was meant to say. Can you take your own advice and stuff? And, oh, I know what I was going to say. I mean, I've done a lot of work and I'm at peace. But of course I want love entering my life. Of course I want that. And it's not because something's missing, because as far as I'm concerned, the void is filled with spirit, and that's one of the big things that really helped me on the path, is that's what filled my void. So I feel complete in my skin, but it doesn't mean I don't want love in my life. Of course I would like a good relationship, good friends, family, with my kids and my grandkids. Of course I want all that. Of course, why would I want that and everything? So if you want that, if you're hoping for that good relationship or certain things like that, and then do certain things, work on your manifestation, that's what your personal power, absolutely. You could still gravitate that. But one of the key things, remember what I said, we got to shut the door to the past, right? When the universe hears when that door slams, when you're finally ready to say goodbye to the past. Now, sometimes the person has said goodbye, but you kept the door open. Maybe you were hoping they walked back through. Okay, we got to shut that door. We got to shut that door. We inevitably got to do that if we want to move on. If we want to move on and go forward. And I've seen a lot of magical things happen, even with people I've read for several years. You know, once they finally shut that door, and then they're coming to me, you're right. You were right. I met a really good one. And it's like I told you, you just need to shut that door. Sometimes it's all you got to do. You know, maybe you don't have to be 100% perfect fixed inside and everything like that. Maybe you've got your battle scars and you've got a little bit of a wound, and maybe you couldn't forgive somebody 100% from your past. Maybe you still carry a little grudge even, but that's okay. It doesn't mean that you will not have love in your life. It doesn't mean that a good person won't come along, you know, and help you, you know, with the finishing touches of your healing. Because you can have a healing relationship, lots of relationship. I even have in here somewhere, this is my lover's oracle. And somewhere in this deck, I wonder if I can find it, among the many little lovers things is a healing card. It's in here somewhere. But I was hoping it would magically pop up. I've got manifesting miracles and all kinds of stuff. But there is a healing card. Okay? And I believe the healing card says, through each other you find the missing pieces. Okay? So sometimes in relationships, maybe there's a little something missing. Maybe there's a little chunk that was taken out of you. Maybe, you know, and sometimes, like puzzle pieces, people come together, you know, and they make something. And they make a really neat thing together. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. No, you don't want to be codependent. No, you don't want to be needy. Okay? We understand that. And us in the spiritual community, we're wise enough to know that. You know, we're getting there, that we know that that's not the way to go. We understand that. But, you know, we also have got to understand a program, okay, and what it is. You know, and when people keep parroting the same thing over and over, and they're not even practicing what they preach, okay, that's a program. That's a program, okay? Stop punishing people, you know, and stuff. We have flaws. We have flaws. And it's going to take a long time before we all become ascended masters and stuff. You know, what plane, what life, I don't know. You know, or even if that is meant to be. You know, but it's going to be, it takes a while to evolve. You know, it takes lifetimes to evolve. And maybe this is as far as I'll get. That's okay. You know, if this is as far as I get, I'll just have to deal with it and stuff. You know, but one of the things we got to go further is we want to, you know, are my words healing? You know, are they helpful? Are they healing? You know, are they good words? Are they planting good seeds? Do they uplift? Do they motivate? Do they inspire? Kind of think of those things before you open your mouth.